I decided that this is the perfect setting for this particular topic. So I'm sitting within a recovering forest fire, or a recovering forest from a horrific forest fire, I should say. I'm grounding right now. I took my shoes and socks off. Some guy's like, hey, you should take your shoes and socks off and ground while you film the video. So I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. Everything is impermanent. So this setting more than symbolizes that, right? Everything is impermanent permutations. Everything changes. And sometimes we do have an issue with that. And we can analyze it until we're blue in the face. But I'm going to keep it very simple. This video doesn't have to be very long to get the point across. So I'm going to be discussing faith, forgiveness, freedom, and of course fear, and using metaphor. So faith forgoes wishing for the future. It's the surrendering. It's the piercing masculine energy that pierces into the outer feminine world of chaos. Forgiveness forgets regretting the past. Forgiveness dives inward. It's the feminine energy. It softens. It reduces the rigidity. It softens your heart. Forgiveness is the heart and the alignment. Faith is the mind and the discovery. And I was thinking about how faith is the boat. It's the vessel. It holds you. When you're embodying faith, you are in the boat. Forgiveness is the stream. Forgiveness is that flow. It's that alignment. And freedom is the current. Freedom is even the sail of the boat. Action, of course, are the oars of the boat, or the motor of the boat, whatever you may have. And of course, fear can be any obstacle, such as a natural waterfall that you have to portage around and detour around, or a man-made dam. Anything that blocks the flow, blocks the current. And I started thinking, yeah, this is really profound, and I started sharing it with people. And I said, see, the cliche, go with the flow, is very profound. A lot of the old cliches have a profound message behind them. Go with the flow. And you know you're in the boat. How do you know you're in the boat and you're flowing with alignment? How do you know you're utilizing the faith and the forgiveness? Because you're going to be devoid of the doubt and the fear, and you're going to be moving beyond even courage and confidence. Faith is a deep trust with the divine, with your subconscious, with the consciousness, with the spirit, with your conscience, with the still small voice. It is that essence that you pick up on through sensing and perception. This is how you know you are embodying faith and forgiveness. You are in the boat. You are flowing in alignment. Again, the boat is masculine. The stream is feminine. The freedom is the current and the sail. And the fear are any obstacles such as the waterfall or the dam. And I was telling people this, and they're like, yeah, that's really profound. I've never really heard it that way. And of course, I'm thinking I'm really cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, okay, well, maybe I should share my perception with people. People seem to enjoy it. And while I was sitting up here, I'm like, wait a second. We already know this from the nursery rhyme, you know, row, row, row your boat gently down a stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. They're rowing their boat down the stream. There's the boat, the vessel that holds you, the faith, the surrendering. There's the stream and the flow. You're in alignment. That's the heart, that's the feminine, the current, the forgiveness. the acceptance. So of course forgiveness is acceptance. It's in the heart, it's feminine. Faith is the surrendering, it's the piercing outward, it's the trust, it's the masculine. Those two together facilitate healing, bringing you into the now. Anything that is healed or whole is synonymous with beauty. Being beautiful is to be healed, and being healed is to be beautiful. Now, the Tao would say that everything is just as it should be, and that you're born whole, which I agree with, and that you can move past concepts such as the ego, the higher self, the true self, or even enlightenment. What are those? They're still concepts, they're still tools, such as my tetrahedron framework is a tool. Even the concept of faith is a tool. I don't think that any are necessarily more true than the others. Life is somewhat of a paradox, as we know. A lot of the darkness, as we know, is justified, some is unjustified. So you can have justified destruction, and you can have unjustified destruction. I would say fear being one of those unjustified forms in certain contexts, and there's also healthy fear, which can be seen as healthy destruction. Even natural death is healthy destruction. Even the natural forest fire is healthy destruction. But I do believe personally that there are forms of unjustified destruction. There's also justified forms of creation and unjustified forms of creation, such as exploitation of others. So when you come into the now, in the flow, in the current moment, you of course can let go of a lot of these concepts. And it's not to say that they don't help, and it's not to say that we're at different moments in the cycle. It's not linear. It's not to say this person's behind me or I'm ahead of this person. We have very many different variables going on in our lives, and each one of us has many different perceptions and angles that we hold. And we're at different cycles within each one of those angles. And you could say each one of those angles in 3 dimensions is even a tetrahedron. Different facets. You know, your character, you're getting sculpted, you're shaping the diamond. You're becoming a diamond with many facets, many perspectives. Cycling and changing, even we are impermanent permutations. And at times it can be hard to accept. And that's when you stagnate into fear and doubt, and maybe even feeling like you need courage and confidence, or even holding on to tradition or honor. Even the Greeks saw honor as a negative thing, as something that stifles your progress. Holding on to those identities, it's tied to identity. And so again, just hold on to the simple metaphor of the boat. And I didn't come up with it, I just came back to it. Oh yeah, the simple nursery rhyme, row, row, row your boat. Go with the flow. But just know that you can embody both faith and forgiveness. And that a lot of these ideas, they're synonymous. A lot of these concepts, when you distill it all and dissect it, a lot of them are synonymous with faith and forgiveness. And utilizing the energy, they're more than a tool. When you embody the energy and the frequency of faith and forgiveness, and you're aligned with your individual stream, you are the steward of your stream, that will allow you to be in the now and to have that freedom. And you'll enter the dimension of emergence. Remember, light only shines while facing the dark, and the peak of being is simply being. Till next time, everybody. I'll see you later.